You're watching MH Nation. Get the latest NBA news, transfer rumors, and match updates fast. Like, share, and subscribe to stay ahead of the game.
Lakers just blew up the roster again. Luka's new $180 million running mates, a shock Knicks trade, and the Kuminga deal falling apart. If you blinked this week, you missed it. The Lakers front office is not sleeping, not slowing down, and definitely not done. LeBron James is officially a Sixer. This is Luka Dončić's team now, and Rob Pelinka is out here treating free agency like it's a video game trade machine. In the next few minutes, I'm breaking down 4 massive Lakers stories, a $180 million wing duo that could be walking through the door, a stunning proposal that would send a Laker guard to the defending NBA champions, the real reason the Jonathan Kuminga chase might finally be dead, and one roster move that already quietly upgraded this team. Stick around, because story number 2 might be the biggest domino of the entire Lakers offseason. Lakers linked to a $180 million star wing duo to finally build around Luka Dončić. Forget everything you think you know about this Lakers roster, because Rob Pelinka is reportedly not finished, and the next move could hand Luka Dončić the two-way wing he's been begging for since the moment he put on the purple and gold. Let's set the scene. This has been an absolutely wild offseason for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James is gone. Rui Hachimura is gone. Marcus Smart is gone. Luke Kennard is gone. For a franchise that spent over 2 decades being defined by LeBron James, that's a gut punch for a lot of longtime fans. But here's the thing nobody's talking about enough. This front office didn't sit back and sulk about it. They went to work. Immediately. The headline move of the summer so far is the seismic sign and trade that brought in Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz, finally giving this team a legitimate rim-protecting, lob-catching center to pair in the front court. Add in Kevon Looney, Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, Sandro Mamukelashvili, Zaire Williams, Matisse Thybulle, and rookie Cameron Carr, and this roster looks almost unrecognizable from the one LeBron walked away from. But, and this is the part that should have every Lakers fan sitting up straight, the front office reportedly isn't done, because the Lakers are already over the league's mandated 16-player roster limit, which means more moves are coming whether we like it or not. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Lakers have been chasing Jonathan Kuminga hard. Multiple reports describe the pursuit as exhausting, and it's dragged on for weeks. Kuminga reportedly turned down a 2-year, $20 million offer from the Lakers a while back, and is now looking for a deal in the neighborhood of at least $15 million a year. That's a real gap, and as of this week, the two sides remain distant in negotiations. So what happens if Kuminga says no for good? According to reporting out of the New York Post, the Lakers could pivot to 2 very familiar names, Kyle Kuzma or DeAndre Hunter. Yes, that Kyle Kuzma. The same Kuzma who was drafted by the Lakers, developed by the Lakers, and won a championship with the Lakers back in the 2020 bubble before he was traded away. 9 years after LA drafted him, there's a real scenario where he comes right back home. Then there's DeAndre Hunter, the 28-year-old Kings forward. The Lakers reportedly had interest in trading for him before the trade deadline earlier this year, before Cleveland shipped him off to Sacramento as part of a 3-team deal. Sources indicate that if Kuminga talks completely collapse, the Lakers may actually lean toward Hunter over Kuzma, given that recent history of interest. Here's the price tag that makes this so juicy for a rebuild-on-the-fly roster. Both Hunter and Kuzma are entering the final year of matching 4-year, $90 million contracts. Hunter is owed close to $25 million this season, Kuzma right around $20.5 million. Add those 2 contracts together, and you're looking at a combined figure north of $180 million across their deals, which is exactly why this is being framed as the Lakers chasing a brand new star wing duo to put around Luka. To make either trade happen, reports suggest the Lakers would need to send out a combination of Jared Vanderbilt, Jaden Hardy, or Dalton Knecht, along with some second-round draft compensation. Vanderbilt himself is owed roughly $12.4 million, so his expiring adjacent money likely becomes a centerpiece in any deal to make the math work under the cap. Now, to be clear, as of this reporting, the Lakers have not publicly confirmed interest in either Kuzma or Hunter. This is still speculation and league source chatter. But when you connect the dots, a roster that's over the limit, a Kuminga negotiation that's stalling out, and two proven veteran wings entering contract years who'd be desperate to prove themselves for a bigger payday next summer, this feels like exactly the kind of move Pelinka has made all offseason. Buy low, add motivated veterans, and build the best possible situation around Luka Dončić and Austin Reaves right now. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm watching this Kuminga situation like a hawk over the next couple of weeks, because whichever way it breaks, LA is adding a needed wing one way or another. Think about what that means for Luka Dončić specifically. Every superstar in this league eventually gets the co-star treatment. Think prime Kyrie next to LeBron, or Klay next to Steph. Luka has never really had that in Los Angeles. If either Kuzma or Hunter walks through that door, he finally gets a battle-tested veteran wing who can guard the other team's best perimeter scorer, space the floor, and take pressure off him in crunch time. That's the kind of piece that turns a talented roster into a genuine playoff threat. There's also a chemistry angle worth mentioning. Kuzma already has Lakers championship DNA. He knows the market, he knows the fan base, and he'd be walking back into a city that still remembers him fondly from that 2020 bubble run. That's not nothing when it comes to a player buying in immediately instead of needing a full season to adjust. Hunter, on the other hand, brings size and length on the wing that this roster has been missing defensively, especially against bigger perimeter scorers in the Western Conference. Either direction solves a real problem. Now let's move to a name Lakers fans have been buzzing about for a completely different reason, because the front office might already be quietly moving on from Kuminga altogether. Forget Kuminga, Lakers should pivot to this Nuggets 3-and-D sniper instead. What if the answer to the Lakers' forward problem isn't Jonathan Kuminga at all? What if it's a 30-year-old champion-caliber shooter sitting one state away in Denver? While the Kuminga chase has dominated headlines, there's a growing argument that the Lakers are targeting the wrong guy entirely, and the name gaining traction is Cameron Johnson of the Denver Nuggets. According to Michael Scotto of HoopsHype, multiple teams around the league have already called the Nuggets fishing for Johnson, who is owed $23 million in the final year of his deal. Denver has reportedly turned down those calls so far, but league sources confirm the interest around the NBA is real. Now, Denver hasn't been tied to a Lakers-specific offer publicly, but the logic for Los Angeles to get involved practically writes itself. Here's the comparison Lakers fans need to hear. Kuminga is 23 years old, younger, and theoretically has more long-term upside. But he also comes with some real red flags. Two different franchises, Golden State and Atlanta, already moved on from him within the same calendar year. That's not nothing. Meanwhile, Cameron Johnson is 30, a proven 3-and-D wing, and exactly the kind of floor-spacing, switchable defender that fits next to a ball-dominant scorer like Luka Dončić. Statistically, Johnson's scoring dipped to 12.2 points per game with Denver last season, compared to 18.8 with the Brooklyn Nets the year before, but don't let that fool you. His efficiency actually hit career highs, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from three-point range. In a Lakers offense that desperately needs shooters who can space the floor around Luka and Austin Reaves, those percentages are exactly what the doctor ordered. The pitch here isn't a long-term marriage. It's presented as a one-year rental. If it works, Johnson gives LA immediate three-point shooting and defensive versatility heading into the season. If it doesn't, his expiring contract becomes one of the most valuable trade chips on the market heading into next year's deadline, since contending teams always covet expiring money. So what would it cost? One suggested package has the Lakers offering Jared Vanderbilt and Jake LaRavia to Denver in exchange for Johnson. That move would also conveniently clear a roster spot the Lakers need anyway to accommodate Matisse Thybulle, who they were forced to open a spot for just this past week. Obviously, this only works if Denver is actually willing to move Johnson, and right now, that's the biggest question mark in the entire equation. But if there's a crack in that door, expect Pelinka's front office to test it immediately, because a proven, playoff-tested 3-and-D wing on an expiring deal is about as low-risk, high-reward as trade targets get. Two completely different paths to solve the same problem, Kuminga's youth and upside or Cameron Johnson's polish and floor spacing. Either way, expect the Lakers to keep hunting for that final piece around Luka. Here's why I actually lean toward the Johnson idea making more sense on paper. Kuminga has been a restricted free agent nightmare all summer, with reports describing the pursuit as exhausting for a reason. Every time it looks like progress is being made, the two sides drift right back apart. Meanwhile, Cameron Johnson has already proven he can hit big shots on a good team. He's already won a championship earlier in his career with a different contender, and he wouldn't require the Lakers to overpay in guaranteed long-term money the way a Kuminga max-adjacent deal might. For a front office trying to stay flexible heading into next summer's free agency, a one-year rental on an expiring deal is about as clean a solution as you can find. Now, let's shift over to something a little more concrete, an actual proposed trade involving a current Laker heading to the reigning NBA champions. Lakers trade idea sends Jaden Hardy to the NBA champion Knicks. Here's who comes back. Picture this. A Laker heading to New York to help the defending champs run it back, while the Lakers bring home a former top 10 pick nobody expected to be available. Here's a trade idea that's picking up steam, and it's a fascinating one because it involves the New York Knicks, fresh off winning it all. The proposal has the Lakers sending guard Jaden Hardy to New York in exchange for Jeremy Sohan in a sign-and-trade, since Sohan is currently an unrestricted free agent. Why would the Lakers even consider this? Simple. Roster logjam. With 16 players currently on the books, the Lakers have to trim the roster before the season starts. And Jaden Hardy, who originally arrived in the DeAndre Ayton trade, has become an obvious odd man out. The Lakers' backcourt is absolutely stacked right now with Luka Dončić, Austin Reeves, Colin Sexton, Quentin Grimes, Bronny James, and rookie Cameron Carr all needing minutes. Something has to give. On the other side, Jeremy Sohan played limited minutes during the Knicks championship run this past year, with veterans Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson soaking up almost all the workload at center. But make no mistake, Sohan is a former top 10 draft pick with legitimate defensive versatility and a relentless motor. On the Lakers, he'd slot in as a third or even second big man, splitting minutes with Walker Kessler and Kevon Looney, who shares that same high-energy identity. There's even more context here that makes this idea click. The Lakers reportedly had real interest in Sohan earlier this year when the San Antonio Spurs were dangling him in trade conversations. San Antonio ultimately waived him instead, and Sohan chose to sign with New York on a vet minimum deal. Now that he's a free agent again, it's essentially a second chance for LA to grab a player they already wanted. And here's a storyline that deserves its own spotlight. Bronny James is not going anywhere. Despite persistent chatter about the Lakers trimming the roster, insider Kobe Price of the California Post shut down any talk of Bronny being on the move, saying the organization is fully invested in his development and wouldn't ship him out unless they received a player of real significant value in return. They drafted him, they've developed him, he's earned support inside the building. This isn't a situation where Bronny gets moved just because his father signed elsewhere. That Bronny stability is exactly why Jaden Hardy has become the trade chip instead. Speculation about the Lakers moving Bronny picked up after LA signed both Zaire Williams and Matisse Thybulle to fill out the final two roster spots, pushing the numbers game to its limit. The Lakers are also reportedly shopping Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Knecht to open up even more flexibility, though no takers have surfaced there yet. So keep an eye on this one. A sign-and-trade swapping Hardy for Sohan checks every box for the Lakers, clears a logjam, keeps Bronny in place, and adds proven front-court depth behind Kessler and Looney. And honestly, this is the type of low-risk move that tends to fly under the radar compared to a splashy star trade, but it's exactly the kind of roster management that separates good front offices from great ones. Nobody's going to make highlight reels out of a vet minimum sign and trade for a backup big man. But when the games start in October and the Lakers need someone to eat minutes behind Kessler and Looney without a drop-off in energy or effort, moves like this one are what keep a season from unraveling in December and January. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about a move the Lakers already made that's quietly paying off, even if it means saying goodbye to a fan favorite. The Lakers already upgraded Rui Hachimura, and fans might not even realize it yet. Rui Hachimura is gone from Los Angeles, but before you panic about that loss, look at what the Lakers quietly got in return. Rui Hachimura became one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the entire NBA during his time in Los Angeles. The problem? Efficiency without volume. He simply wasn't taking enough shots to fully punish opposing defenses. By signing Sandro Mamukelashvili, the Lakers found a player who solves exactly that problem. Over the last 2 seasons, Hachimura averaged 12.2 points per game on 9.2 field goal attempts, translating to roughly 14.7 points per 36 minutes. Mamukelashvili, over that same stretch, produced 18.9 points per 36 minutes on 13.5 attempts, including 6.8 3-point attempts per 36. That's a massive jump in aggression and shot volume. To be fair, this isn't a like-for-like swap. Mamukelashvili doesn't bring Hachimura's defensive versatility or elite athleticism, and Hachimura's postseason heroics won't be easily replaced. But for a Lakers offense that finished dead last in the entire NBA in catch-and-shoot three-pointers made last season, and 23rd overall in total threes made, adding a shooter who actively hunts his own offense instead of waiting for the ball to find him is exactly the kind of aggressive scoring upgrade this roster needed. Bottom line, losing Hachimura stings, but the numbers say the Lakers didn't just replace him in one specific area, they might have actually upgraded. So there you have it. 4 huge storylines shaping the Lakers roster right now. A potential $180 million wing swap built around Luka Dončić. A serious pivot option in Cameron Johnson if the Kuminga chase finally dies. A sign-and-trade idea that would send Jaden Hardy to the defending champion Knicks. And a quiet shooting upgrade already sitting on the roster in Sandro Mamukelashvili. This Lakers front office is not slowing down, and neither are we. If you want to be the first to know when the Kuminga situation finally breaks one way or the other, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below telling me which move you want to see happen first, Kuzma, Hunter, or Cameron Johnson. Thanks for watching, Lakers family, and I'll see you in the next one. That's every major Lakers storyline you need to know right now. This front office is not done moving, and neither are we. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me which move you want to see happen first. Thanks for watching, Lakers family. See you in the next one.